passing by Cambridge South Station. This should hopefully open this winter, so I'll have to come back when it opens. I've just left Cambridge North Station, which is a relatively new one as well. What lies in between, of course, is the regular Cambridge Station, of which a line to Ipswich runs from, which I've only ever travelled on once, for the sake of it, near the end of 2019 on the 29th of December. I didn't quite go to Ipswich though, as I had been there before, so I decided to reverse at Needham Market Station, the penultimate stop, and I've never used any of the other stations on this line, so I thought I'd rectify that today by doing a walk between a couple of them right in the middle of the line, the major town along it, at Bury St Edmunds. This is also the line where I first caught a Class 755 flirt train, which is one of my favourites, but I'm not catching one from Cambridge this morning. I've instead come up to Ely because you can also reach Bury St Edmunds from here. Now, there never used to be any other stops on this line, except in 2021 a new station called Soham opened, and I did visit it shortly after opening, before then reversing and doing a walk along the River Great Ouse from Ely to Waterbeach. So this is going to be my first time travelling on the line beyond Soham. So let us start our walk this morning in Suffolk, in Bury St Edmunds. It's a rather fine station building it has. So just down there somewhere is the River Lark, which I'm following to start my walk today. It is in fact a tributary of the River Great Ouse, and it looks so far to be a very rural setting, despite the fact that it is a town exploration walk today. But there is evidence of the human touch, because there is a busy main road here, and whatever that industry plant is up there is making a lot of noise. But this river is going to bring us straight into the heart of the town, to the ruins of an old abbey. I believe the source of this river is nearby to Bury St Edmunds, and the main road uses the alignment of an old railway, because Bury St Edmunds did used to have a second station called Eastgate, but I think that closed way back in 1909. The railway through here survived a lot longer. It closed to the north in 1953, connecting up with a station called Thetford, which still exists on the Ely to Norwich line, and it closed south in 1961, connecting up with a branch which still exists that goes to Sudbury. So this is very cool. There are a lot of abbey ruins here that you can wander around and explore, that remain here after all this time, despite it being a victim of the dissolution of the monasteries all the way back in 1539. You can see just how huge of a site this would have been. There's a model here to give us an idea of what it would have looked like in its heyday. I just find it fascinating how much ruins remain here though. And from here, not only do you get the expansive abbey remains, but a great view towards the tower of St Edmundsbury Cathedral, which helps debunk the myth that it is a cathedral that makes a town a city, because Bury St Edmunds is very much a town. You know what, I'm going to say it. I think this is the most impressive abbey ruins I've ever come across. I didn't realise until I almost stumbled across my words in the last clip that the cathedral is different to the name of the town. Bury St Edmunds, St Edmundsbury Cathedral. This is just amazing to walk around. I love that tower there. It's just so impressive. Come and visit Bury St Edmunds. We're quite early on into the walk as well. The Angel Hotel is a beautiful building. It has a blue plaque on it to denote that Charles Dickens once stayed here. And there's a matching gatehouse tower that would have led into the abbey grounds. And just over there I can see what I also want to have a look at here in Bury. I've become local now, I'm calling it Bury, not Bury St Edmunds. So this is the brilliantly named the Pillar of Salt. It's in an Art Deco style from 1935 and is the first illuminated road sign of its kind. I can't say I've ever seen one like this before, and I really like it. A couple of nerdy statistical facts, by the way. The A1101 road to Mildenhall is Great Britain's lowest. It mostly is below sea level, and it is also the longest of the 4-digit A roads. That is the fanciest, most historical looking Greggs I've ever seen. I love that. And the impressive buildings continue with what is probably the most fanciest Wetherspoons I've ever seen, which used to be a corn exchange from 1862. I feel at this point this whole video could be me just pointing out historic buildings such as a fire station here in the market, which is now turned into a bank. Might be a lot of nice historical buildings here in Bury St Edmunds, but this doesn't quite fit in. A disused shopping centre. It's completely stripped out on the inside. Why is there such a huge number of McDonald's fries packets down there? Now, in pubs all across the country, in villages and towns, maybe even your local one is like this, if it's a Green King pub, then it will have a sign like this, which always underneath it says the town name of Bury St Edmunds. And that's because, yes, their head offices are in Bury St Edmunds. They've had a brewery on this site here for over 200 years. I can't believe I almost missed this on my walk today. I didn't have it plotted as part of my route. That would have been a real shame to have missed this, because it's up there with one of the most iconic buildings in Bury St Edmunds, along with the cathedral and abbey ruins. Look at all the kegs of beer in there. I suddenly just got a big whiff of the smell of alcohol as well. Heading out of the town on the other side, I've now come across the River Linnet, though it's dried out at this stage, which is a tributary of the River Lark, the one we looked at earlier. Actually, well, it's all dried out, but this is supposedly the spot where the River Linnet is making its confluence with the River Lark. So I am back beside the Lark. I'm heading north along it. Earlier we were heading south, so I'm essentially just doing a loop back towards the town, towards the Abbey ruins, but just before I get there I'm going to strike off east, because really my explore around Bury St Edmunds is now complete. But stick around, because there's still some interesting things to see as I take the walk now towards one of the other stations on the line. I will say, I feel like I've done a lot of countryside / rural walks this summer, and as nice as they are, they're not always the most memorable, because there's not much difference from being in the middle of fields in Kent to the middle of the countryside in Essex. But doing an explore around a town, somewhere that's much more urban, especially a historic place like Bury St Edmunds, I'm definitely going to remember this walk so much more than some of the other ones we've done this year. I do love getting to explore completely new places to me, and the walk's not even over yet. There's still so much more to go. So leaving Bury St Edmunds behind me means I have to cross this busy road again. You can see the industry down there that we passed at the very beginning of the walk, and just as a reminder, this is the old railway from Thetford through Bury to Sudbury. My first destination on the more rural stretch of the walk is the Bury Bat. Hard to make out from ground level, this is where a drone would come in handy, but the bushes surrounding me at this point are laid out in a specific way to create a giant bat. So this building would have belonged to Moreton Hall Preparatory School, which closed permanently in June 2020 due to COVID. I wasn't expecting to see the building still in a disused state though. All the windows are boarded up, some of the windows are smashed. It's pretty cool to see it like this at the moment. I'm surprised how freely I can kind of walk around this site. Seeing the hall from this angle is better because it's not as silhouetted. So there is a pub over there called the Morton Hall. I'm not sure if it's a Green King pub. I don't see their sign. I don't see any mention of Bury St Edmunds. Oh, hang on. New Green King Brewery. Okay. There's a lot of industry out here, it seems. I see a massive Skechers unit over there. At this point, I'm actually walking alongside an old RAF base, Rowham Airfield, sometimes known as RAF Bury St Edmunds. I can see a control tower over there. It is open sometimes as a museum. It was occupied by the US Air Force until the end of World War II. I did actually see a memorial to that earlier, right opposite the cathedral in Bury, surprisingly. There's a lot of smoke out there on the former airfield. I'm not sure what that's about. I can taste the smoke in the air though. It's quite strong. And we've passed quite a few old RAF bases recently, all on the Greater Anglia Railway network actually. Not too long ago in East Suffolk we saw RAF Halesworth, and when we were visiting the stations on the Bitton line, the one north of Norwich, we came across one at one of the stations there too. They've been a real theme of this year's summer adventures. There's one here for Lavenham Airfield. I haven't heard of that one. Guess there's another disused one somewhere around here. From Rowham Airfield to the Rowham Estate, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's not like Rougham or something. This all used to belong to the Abbey, this land, and there is a manor house here that was struck by a bomb during World War II and has remained a ruin ever since. That's 2 disused halls we've seen today. Admittedly, this is off of the public footpath, but I couldn't not come up and try and get a shot of it. Wow. Even out of the built-up town areas around Bury St Edmunds, I'm still coming across impressive buildings. Look at all of the shrubbery that's grown on it during the years. Oh, look at the clock tower behind, by the way. I didn't even spot that at first. Oh my days. Well, it does look like bomb damage, doesn't it? Looks like it just fell straight through. Wow. That is impressive damage. How many times have I used the word impressive this video? Is that a basement level down there? There are archways underneath the brick supports. It's not a building you can do a whole lot of exploring around because the bomb has just absolutely decimated the floor. So you just can't go in at all. Nature's reclaimed it too. It's just way too unsafe. I'm really glad I've come to have a look at this. I think they do want to preserve it as a ruin, which is cool because at this point you might as well, right? Coming out of the estate, and it's not too long till I reach Thurston Station now at the end of the walk. This is a little odd because this clearly looks like it's the old road that would have connected straight up to the one that I just walked down, but at some point they changed the layout. Well, that's a nice welcome to Thurston. You've got a village sign here. I can also hear a nearby level crossing barrier alarm. Wow, that's an unexpectedly nice station building. It seems like it's also disused nowadays. I just thought this was going to be a very basic 2-platform station with nothing really to say about it, but to be fair, Needham Market, when I travelled on this line before, that had a nice old station building too. There was also a pretty sunset taking place, as I recall. Ah, this must be the alarm I heard. I have to cross the tracks at grade to get to my platform. I've not seen this type of sign before. It's a very old one with blue on either side of the name. I made it to the station though, with plenty of time to spare until my train home. I did buy an advance single because it was considerably cheaper. And there's actually a viral video filmed here at Thurston Station. It has about 27 million views on YouTube. Please share this video to get this to 27 million views. It's never getting anywhere near that number. But the video is somebody filming a steam train passing through this station. But they're so close to the edge, they don't realise that there's a train coming through on the other side, and they almost get hit. And that's the video. And that is the end of my video today. A walk I've really enjoyed. Bury St Edmunds has possibly become one of my new favourite places. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to see more videos like this.
We are now approaching Bury St Edmunds. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform edge. Please take care when leaving the train.
Strange interaction just happened. Someone spotted me on the platform. He was wearing earphones, and he just suddenly pretended to start being a train announcement. So he was like, "Next train on platform 1 is going to Ipswich." I was just like, "Yep, yes it is." And then as he started walking away, he dropped his like ticket wallet. I was like, "Oh, excuse me, mate, you dropped your card." He didn't hear me because he had the earphones in, so I said it a bit louder. Still didn't hear me, he didn't look at me, didn't acknowledge me or anything. I tapped his arm to get his attention as he was picking something out of the bin. Still didn't look at me. Started walking after him on the platform, and he started to get scared and kind of walk a bit faster away from me. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to leave it on the bench. I just left it on the bench, left the station, came back a couple of minutes later, both him and the card was gone. Thurston, there you go.